Hi, everyone. Well, if you like double barreled whiskey, let's taste the expression from the brand that started it all. We're going to taste Old Forester 1910. I've never tried this before. In the Old Forester line, the last one I had was the Old Forester single barrel store pick. I thought it was phenomenal at that 132 or so proof. It was just, I just thought it was unbelievable. And quite honestly, since we're talking about favorite whiskeys of 2023, that was one of mine. Definitely the Old Forester single barrel store pick that I got was definitely one of my favorite bottles of 2023. Absolutely. Prior to that, my experience with Old Forester was 1920, very, very early on in my whiskey journey. At the time, I thought it was good. I wasn't completely thrilled with it, but when I had this Old Forester, now the single barrel, I mean, have had a lot more experience than I did at the time that I had the 1920. And the only other bottle prior to that was the Old Forester 100 proof. I did not like that one at all. So I've had varying experiences, but my last experience, and also at a time where I've also had more varied experiences with other types of whiskeys, single barrel was phenomenal. So that was 132 or so proof. So now the proof here is going to drop to 93 proof. But I've heard so many good things about this. I always kind of hear basically that people, aside from the single barrel, the debate always is, is it the 1910 or 1920 that's the best? And it's pretty, they're two different types of bottles, I understand that, but this one gets a lot of acclaim. So basically what this is, it's from the Brown-Forman Company. This is part of the Whiskey Row series, which this one I believe was released in 2018. I think the Whiskey Row series started in 2014. It consists of the 1870, the 1897 Bottled and Bond, the 1920, and then this one. It was, I think it was in that order. There may have been something recent that came out on the series after that. But as I said, it's 93 proof. There is no age statement. It has what I call the Old Forester mash bill that I've seen, which is 72% corn, 18% rye, 10% malted barley. So it's a reasonably high rye bourbon. And basically what the 1910 is, just really quick, it's basically a specific period in the history of Old Forester, which is in the range of around 150 years or so. And apparently the story is that there was a fire that stopped the bottling line, and they had to take the whiskey. And because the whiskey was ready to get bottled, and if they didn't do something with it, it was going to go bad. And they basically put it in, it was fully matured, and they put it into these second barrels, and the barrels were new charred oak barrels. And basically what it was they kept it in those bottles, those second barrels, until the bottling line was fixed so that they could then bottle it. But what in fact happened was that was the first time that fully matured whiskey was ever put in a second barrel, and that basically started the trend of double barreled whiskey, and that was the first time that was ever done. And that second barrel, that's what this does. This basically replicates that process. I believe it's put into the second barrel at about 100 proof. I guess they proof it down to 93 proof. And the second barrel is a lightly toasted, heavily charred barrel. That's the focus, is heavy charred, which is supposed to give this a lot of the flavor. So that's really the story of it. I am super anxious to get this in a glass, so let's do that right now, and let's see how good it is. Okay, so we have this all poured up. This has some tight plastic on this. That usually takes a minute, so I spared you that part of it. Funny thing is, as soon as I open this bottle, I have a really nice smell coming out of this. So I'm kind of skipping right to the nose. This kind of reminds me of one of the other double barrels I've had, the Woodford Reserve Double Oak, which ironically, the very first time I tried it a while ago, a long time ago, I did not like it. And then when I had it maybe a couple of months ago, I really did like it. And this just reminded me of that. So aside from that, as a side note, I guess the Elijah Craig toasted would count as a double barreled type whiskey. I've tried the Heaven's Door double barrel, and again the Woodford Reserve Double Oak, and I believe another one. So I've had a few of them. This, just on the first nose, reminds me a lot of the Woodford Reserve Double Oak. I'm getting kind of like a sweet maple syrupy type of smell. Definitely a sweet. There's definitely a presence of oak. I'm getting maple syrup. Definitely a sweetness. I'm getting oak sweetness, maybe a little bit of vanilla, and I'm just getting that kind of maple syrup pancake kind of the smells that I would expect. Again, that's kind of what I had when I had the Woodford Reserve Double Oak. So let's get right into this. Cheers. Well, that's rich. That is rich. It's definitely a lot. I got to be honest with you. That is a robust 93 proof. It's not, the last one I tried of Old Forester was 132, but I got to be honest with you, this tastes very robust for 93 proof. That is a very, very heavy mouthfeel. Let me try this again. Definite presence of oak, definite presence of sweetness, thick mouthfeel, oily mouthfeel, full mouthfeel in this. Really nice finish. What's funny is I always kind of like hear people who use the description of some types of taste as they taste a little bit of leather. Like, I guess how would you really know that I really never ate like a leather jacket or anything like that? But I do detect that in here. If there's a way to describe that, I would say oak, leather. There's definitely a richness in this. There's a little bit of an elegance to this. I don't know how to describe it. There's definitely a very elegant taste to this. And it has a very rich. I have a feeling, this is my thought, again, like with the 1920, I think if I was early in my whiskey journey, like I was with the 1920, and as I was with the Woodford Reserve Double Oaked, I don't think I would have liked this at the time. I happen to like this a lot right now, and I can see why a lot of people like it. It is not like the 1920. It's very different. It's even different than the single barrel was not the same. I think this has more oak in it. Obviously, that had the proof, but this is really, really very good. It's very complex, actually. I'm gonna try this once more. I think it's very good. And that's again, I say like I think this is not a beginning whiskey. This is not something you try. Even though the proof is not the highest thing out there, the flavor is very complex. There's a heavy presence of oak. It's mixed with sweetness. I think it's just a very complex, elegant taste. I think this is very good. I think this is very good. This is a price range of single barrel was more. This is about the same as the 1920. It's moderately easy to. I wouldn't say it's in every store, but it's in a lot of stores. I think the 1920 I see a little bit more often than the 1910. It's not in every store, but it's not like it's it's something where it's some unicorn you can't find it. You can, and usually find it at a consistent price. But this one I said, you know what, I saw this at a good price, and I actually saw it in a store. I've been wanting to have it. It's nothing new. It's been out there a while, but it's definitely something that I've been very curious about, and I'm not pleasantly, even pleasantly surprised because everyone said it's good, but I think it confirms that. Cheers, everyone. Take care.